Hi, Charles Moman here. Well, this next episode's all about putting bunk windows in. I've really been mean to the van lately. I'm cutting holes left and right, and now I am going to be left and right cutting holes. Thanks for watching. Well, we finally get to the bunk windows. Actually, I was going to do them first. I thought I'm going to get the thing that I won't say fear, just a little hesitant about the most. I'm used to cutting holes up in a roof, and I feel like if I went too wide there, I could do something about it more easily, but not so much here. But most of us, we tend to cut a little short, and then you have to trim it to make it fit. These windows, I was telling my wife last night, she said, well, what's going to happen tomorrow? And I go, well, we cut a hole, we sand around the edge, we paint the raw metal, we make sure everything fits, it's all dry, it's ready to go. We push the window in, we put the clamp on, tighten it, we're done. That's it. So here you see behind the driver's seat, here's an area where I have not installed a window, and you can see those supports there. Well, you go over here and you can see that I cut out 3 of these, and I was a little more cautious than other people. I used a grinder and I cut them out, but as you'll see in this short video where I dropped the volume, you'll be thankful I did, that I put a piece of thin metal that I bought at Home Depot and put it behind the support so that when I was cutting, I wouldn't accidentally go too far and cut into the actual skin of the van. Didn't want to do that. That'd be fairly fatal. So here's a little peek at cutting those out. But with this job, you saw me grinding these down so I could open a space for the window. Those metal shards go everywhere, even those teeny ones, and they're hot. And so I had on just a short sleeve shirt. I quickly got a long sleeve shirt. I'm amazed by some of these guys. I guess they're more macho than me. You know, they've got their muscles, they're showing their tattoos, and they're in shorts, sandals, and some of them no safety gear at all, and that stuff is flying everywhere. And I like my eyes too much, so I even wear goggles over my glasses because that goes everywhere. So this one you really do need to be careful. My wife's going to be helping, holding, and as I cut an area, she'll tape it. I'll be cutting from the outside. So gloves, of course, and goggles, and ear protectors. I use these. She wears the big headphone kind of things. Screwdriver. I do have the drill, but you have to be really careful not to. You could strip things, so you could actually just forget that and just use the screwdriver as you're putting them in. I'll be taping all around, as you'll see, and measure, and then a jigsaw, and I'm putting a brand new blade every time I start something new, just to be sure. It's for fine metal, not very fine metal, just for fine metal, and that's pretty much it. So I found this big sheet of plastic from when we did some remodeling a few years ago, so I've got the bottom half covered to cover up all the holes and cavities, and of course we'll be sweeping as we go along too. Okay, so Susie is putting it about where she wants it to be, and we're kind of centering it, and it's not so crucial for us because we don't have a bed across the back like most everyone does, so we're just wanting light where we want it. And are you happy with that?
I think so.
We need to check. You just put your hand on that where I cut it off above. Let's double check with make sure that I don't have to cut more. We may either want to cut more off up there for the ring to fit, or just drop it down a little bit.
Yeah, it can go down a bit. You're right.
Wait, say that again.
You're right.
Thank you so much. So now, I'll get up there and we'll take a look together, and then I'm going to drill a hole through the center, put a drill bit through the hole, go outside, line the cardboard back up, and then we'll measure, draw the line, and then cut. You ready for that?
Oh yeah.
Let's get our gear out.
Okay.
So we decided where we want to go, and Susie's going to drill through. Have fun. Did you just drill a hole? You were just supposed to go through the cardboard. Tell them why you use the cardboard, your little method there.
Okay. I know the center's not going to move. It's going to be the same, so I marked. I know it's crooked, and you're going to say it's crooked, but wherever it is on here, it's the same on there. I made a little mark here, And the same, I'm lining it up with this ridge.
Right.
It's the same on this side.
Are you happy with that?
Yep, I'm happy.
Okay. Okay, so we're using a marker. Now you're defacing it with a ink pen. You notice Susie hasn't helped me with the cutting. Now I'm getting her involved with marking everything, and so she's part of the crime.
He wants it to be my fault if it turns out bad.
Maybe partially. Well, we've got it marked. It's a kind of a wide angle lens, so it may look a little skewed, but we're happy with it. If it's off a fraction, it's off a fraction. You'll notice, compared to most people, ours is down lower. A lot of them put them way up here, but why? Because they've got a garage and they've got a bed above it, and so they want it to looking out. We're not doing that. Our bed will be sofa level whenever we're sleeping in here. So this is where we want it, so I'm going to mark it off with tape. And I think we're going to go ahead and mark the other side so that I can just cut and go and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to drill a practice hole here, just get the feel of it. I know it's the same metal as up there, but I'm doing it anyway. This is easy to practice with, and I'll do that with cutting again, because it'll feel different going at an angle. The hole that works for my blade is a 3/8 inch drill bit, so that's what I'll be doing. And I've noticed some people lately on some of the videos, they're doing this whole series of holes all over, especially around the corners, and then when they cut it, it's a bunch of jagged stuff. So I'm going to do what I did above and just have a hole in the corner, so if I need to stop and reposition myself, I got a place to go to. I just don't get doing the holes everywhere. I don't really think that helps. But what do I know? So I've got my 4 holes in the corners, and I'm not doing that series of holes like some do, and if that works for them, great. And when you're cutting like this, you know, I've got tape on the bottom like I did up on the roof. Looks like I need to redo a little bit here. And then tape here to protect it. Well, we're all one big flat surface, so that's nice. There's not a ridge to watch out for. I know in some vehicles they're cutting near a ridge, or if they're up here, you could cause some problems. 4 holes, but you don't want to cut and just keep going, all of a sudden you'll have a corner that's swinging and it can really bend things up. It could deform the metal around here maybe, it's possible. So Susie will be throwing tape on as I finish a section. I'll stop now and then and tell her to do that. So guess it's time to quit dawdling about it. I don't know why this just bothers me, but it'll be fine, I know. Can you hold your hand on the center? It's really...
Yes.
So I found out quickly that it really does throw a lot on your face. So good idea to wear some protection. Not perfect. We'll try a dry fit, but I know we're going to have to do some tweaking. So we'll dry fit it. I know it's not going to fit because I didn't get these corners very well, because I didn't want to... If you get off, start going wrong direction, it's really kind of hard. It's almost better just to stop, because it'll want to go the way it wants to go at that point. So Susie's going to help me see where I need to start trimming some. I stay pretty close to the line most of the time. So it's obviously not too big, so that's a win. So Susie's marking on the inside, and I may just go in there and do the trimming. Well, we were in hopes we'd be like a lot of the people, unless they're really doing some clever editing. Seems like some, it's close, they trim it, they're done. And apparently our template, it was just a little shy of where it should be. And so I won't tell you how long I've been messing with this, but at least it's not too big. That's the important thing. But it just overall was too short. So now we've got the bottom half is fitting in perfectly, and it was caught here. So I think this side's okay. I might have to trim. And then I think what you see, the white right here, I think it's still that much off. But we have leeway. We've got, you know, an edge that it has to grab on here. So I've got leeway, but I'm just being very careful right now. I want to get this close and then make it too big. So on the other side, we're going to have to adjust that template because it's definitely a bit too small. It would appear we've got it in. Susie, crank it back out again. So this is the bunk style awning window. Comes out, got the screen in there. So I think we've got it. So now we have a template that we can pretty well trust over on the other side. It should go a lot faster. So now we take it out. I've already worked on it with the file. I need to paint the edges and then clamp it in. It's done. I think it looks great. Are you happy, Susie? Woo-hoo! All right. Well, we've got both windows in. I've got silicone around the edge. They seem to be rock solid. So what was the problem? Well, let me take you inside and I'll show you a combination of things led to us being frustrated for a while, especially Charles. Well, I did some shopping online for windows and I ran across these CLR AW1033s and I liked the smallness of them and I liked how they opened out. So these open up. And I watched videos and it seemed like, oh, that's pretty easy. Cut a hole and get it, you know, file it and paint it and push it in, do the screws, you're done. And maybe I'm just unlucky or just don't know what I'm doing, but I watch people do pilot holes and put them in, seem to have no issues. I think I saw 1 or 2 videos where someone did what we ended up doing. We ended up putting a 1/8 inch piece of plywood, had a rectangle, and then we cut it out, and it fits behind this. And the screws are not going into the wood, but they're going into the channel. And that's the whole issue. When we put this clamp ring on here, we trusted that, oh, those holes would be in the exact spot, and we did our pilot holes. Well, it didn't always line up right. And so you might put in a pilot hole, and it seemed like it was good, but actually it wasn't fitting in this channel that's in here. And the screw it tightens into the channel. And so that was really the issue. And we just kind of gave up for a few days or more than a few days while I looked for opinions, which I got a million of them. But it all worked out. Just be careful when you pilot hole that you get in those channels. Try not to over tighten. A lot of people show, if they with their camera, they can show some dimpling on the outside if you over tighten, and I've got a little bit of that. I'm putting graphics around the windows and on some of the side panels anyway, so it kind of disguises it. But it's a nice window. If in hindsight, what I would, if I could start all over, I would not have gotten this kind of window. I would have gotten the kind that glues on, and they even make one that's specific for the Ford Transit. It's larger. It's got I think it's two fixed glass windows up here, and then awning or slider, your choice, underneath. And it takes into account the contour of the side. So, you know, I did come to learn that, you know, some vans have straighter sides than others. That wouldn't stop me from getting a Ford Transit. It would just make me more sure to get a window that's less problematic. But they went well. Sorry I didn't record the last bit, but all it really was just putting this in, screwing it in, and we're all set now. So now I can really get going with this van build. So there you go. Hope you learned something. And I'm not saying don't get these windows, but just be aware that you might have to finesse it a bit to make it work. I still would go with the ones that glue in, and I think I'd have a professional do it. And then my sheet metal outside would still be pristine. But it's up to you. And thanks for watching.